Hey guys, it's Pedro back with another interview covering Valorant Champions 2024. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied by Boaster, the IGO of FNATIC crew, coming off of a victory over Crew Esports to advance to the playoffs of said competition. And so, Boaster, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this real quick after the W. And so, as I said, coming off of a W over Crew, an opponent that has been quite a long time since you last faced them back in 2021. And so, to finally get that W over them. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm super relieved, to not be going home tomorrow. So that's the first thing I can think of, and yeah, I'm just super motivated to. Firstly, I'm off to Heidi Lau after this because I know it's open till late, so I'm gonna eat some of that, and then yeah, and then prepare for the playoffs. So I'm super excited. And yeah, just happy. I know how good the crew players can be, especially Kesnet. But luckily, we were also playing pretty well today.
For sure, obviously the better team came out on top of that. And so, before we touch upon the series once again, I want to ask you about how the team was kind of looking back on the result against DRX, losing obviously in the previous match. How do you kind of look back on that series as a whole, and what kind of takeaways did you put into the preparation phase of this match that happened just now?
Yeah, so obviously the DRX game meant that we weren't going to have a full day off after the game. It was a rough one to lose because I was really looking forward to being able to go straight into prepping for playoffs and like taking that well needed rest. But yeah, life goes on. We took a half day instead, and the grind continued. We learned a lot through that grinding period, and playing on stage again just gives us more reps. And like I think we're a team that with the more reps we get, the stronger we get, the more used to the stage we get. And yeah, I'm really excited for this playoffs. I don't care who we play. I'm ready to play anyone. And yeah, I'm just gonna take it game by game with the boys. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm still in, baby. That's what we like.
For sure, for sure. That's definitely one that I want to hear from yourself. Elma Putty mentioned in press conference about how the team was kind of passive in Sunset, which kind of led to the loss in that first map of the series. Obviously, you guys came back and won it at the very end. But going back a little bit onto that, I want to know from your perspective as to what kind of led the team to play at such a state, in such a passive state, and how that kind of festered over, especially in the first half.
I think it was the game plan. So we had a game plan, and first round Kesnet obviously comes pushing CT spawn bops too, and we're like, oh my goodness, this guy he's revved up, ready to go. And then we were playing on, and first post plant was on B. They've all retreating to B main and just play that spamming gameplay. Our util wasn't exactly on point for that retake, and we ended up getting punished. And then it was just us trying to figure out what to do and how to work around it. And unfortunately, we needed like big hero plays in order to even acquire some rounds, and we lost a brutal 1v3 as well. So I think it's just a good learning experience, like these maps that we're losing on the DRX game, on Abyss and Lotus, the game against Crew on Sunset. These are all well needed losses, whilst also not getting like kicked out of the event, removed from the event. So we're still in, yet we're still able to learn from a lot from our victory. That's the biggest victory, in my opinion. If we went today and we stomped Crew, yeah, it would have felt nice, but it's not preparing us for the playoffs. So I'm just happy that we qualified, obviously, for the playoffs, whilst also getting a really good game to learn from. Series, actually, yeah. Because we were a bit
And
passive on Haven as well.
yeah, I was about to go over to Haven because, of course, Crew came out on with a large lead, 6-2, starting out on that map, and then I believe you guys took a timeout somewhere like before you guys started making the turnaround in said map. I just want to know exactly just what were the kind of discussions like on that timeout that thus led to you guys making that turnaround in such an emphatic fashion to win it 13-3 or 13-9.
Yeah, I think it was we're just trying to figure out what they were doing. Like we kind of knew what they were doing, but the way that we were playing into it was allowing them to set up first and then hit us hard. And we weren't able to kind of capitalize on it. So I think for us, it was changing up our game plan a little bit. Instead of Durka having no op, I was just like, I'm just going to buy it because I feel like sometimes it's better to just have the passive player with the op, and like I know which lines I could hold, and then I'll let Durka like play his rifle game because he's got obviously a solid rifle as well, and his op wasn't finding much value on the defense side because they were just smoking him off or like avoiding him essentially, but when they think that he's got the op, they're going to maybe come into me. And I was I was actually able to find some value on that from the help of the teammates as well. So yeah, I think it was a once again a good learning experience. We'll take it and we go on.
Talk to me about your performance on the operator in map 2, because you came out, or you ultimately came out of it with 7 kills on that rifle. Just I mean, pretty good showing for you. Just kind of what led to you kind of playing well on that? Was it just sort of the things that crew was throwing upon you guys or throwing to you that you basically said, okay, much obliged, thank you so much, and I'll just take these kills?
So the problem is for me is that I know where enemy teams are gonna peek me, or like I know like how to get kills. The only problem is that they obviously are just mechanically better than me. So to be able to just pick up the AWP means I don't need any mechanics. I just need to click. And a lot of my deaths in the game are just like a player out aiming me, or I'm rotating, or blah blah blah. But when I've got the AWP, it's just very easy. I think the weapon is really easy if you know where to look, and I know where to look, I'd say, on that map specifically. But on most maps, I feel like I'd know where to play it, but my agents don't really complement the op as much, so I kind of got to make do. But Haven Omen is a viable op because you can get the top-down angles as well. I can get on top of boxes, and like, for instance, that C long one, I peeked over it and I saw his head and I not popped it.
No, for sure. It definitely put up a good results for yourself and also for the rest of the team. Now that you are going to have some time to kind of rest up and prepare for whoever comes your way in playoffs, I want to know what's been the biggest pros and cons from your point of view of the team's performance so far in this event, be it or more specifically in the group stage. What is the number one good thing and number one bad thing that you feel the team has to kind of emphasize going forward?
Number one good thing is we've got the most reps possible. 2-1, 2-0, or was it 2-1 again? It's actually
2-1.
No, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1. So we got three games. We're going into the playoffs, so that's looking pretty strong for us. And also we're definitely capable of shooting heads and stuff. So the team morale is looking good, and we're learning. And then the downside, I'd say, is I mean, to be continued. We'll find out after the game, whoever we end up playing against. There might not be a downside, so we shall see.
Okay, I will definitely be looking forward to what comes next for this team. And I know you already mentioned a little bit on the press conference about who you want to face, and that being VALORANT. Do you have any other team in mind that you kind of want to look forward to facing? Maybe Sentinels or something, or any other team?
So obviously the Sentinels game might have to be after the first battle that we do. But generally, I can't be bothered to play Heretics yet. I'd rather play them later on into the tournament if I have to, because we played them obviously in our region quite a bit. But I don't mind playing them. But I'd say the one for me would be G2. Obviously, I wanna knock them to the lower bracket because it's G2 versus FNATIC rivalry. And then from anyone that could be second seed as well. Like Sentinels is a fun game, but we'll see if we end up playing against them. That's a good video game. Get those impressions up. No, and then I'm trying to think who else there is. EDG Paper X, and there's a Vitality versus something. Leviathan. I think EDG would be a fun team. We have never played them before, but that's it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And one more question before I kind of wrap it up. Last year the team obviously was did very well in the regard that has won 2 international trophies. We finished up in 4th place overall. And comparing that to now, how do you kind of compare this team to that team at this point of the event? When I do say that, I say, comparing this team to last team when it comes to end of group stage, where do you kind of see the form right now of this FNATIC team?
I think there's potential that we can win the events, like with the players that we have. It's just whether they decide to show up on the day, and I think that's just competition. Yeah, that's just competition. So if I compare us to last year, LA champs, we were a bit burnt out, bit tired. Like everyone had different emotions going into it, different feelings, different motivation levels. But this event, I think we haven't done anything this year. We've not achieved anything. So I think the hunger is there. Like when we're playing, you know, we know what went wrong. We know what went wrong. We know what went wrong last year at champs and also this year, and we're just trying to avoid that and be positive, and it seems to be working thus far, even when we lost against DRX.
For sure. Hopefully, you guys are able to continue the form into playoffs and then everything after that. But also, thank you so much for taking the time doing this interview once again. Best of luck goes to you for the next one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.